Chapter 1. I want to marry you as my wife. Jiangnan Province, Yun City. Vice President's Office, Chen Group Office Building. Are you Yi Gichen? Chen Zuren looked at the man in front of her, dressed so tackily that she couldn't, no matter what, connect him with her fiancé. As the younger generation of Chen Group, Chen Zuren was both talented and beautiful. She probably had enough suitors to form a whole battalion. In her heart, her man should be a hero of the world, an elite of society, and highly knowledgeable. But a few years ago, when Chen Zuren's grandfather passed away, he called the then 16-year-old Chen Zuren to his side on his deathbed and told her in front of all the Chen family members that she had an arranged marriage. At that time, the young and naive Chen Zuren stared at her grandfather in disbelief, thinking he had definitely gone crazy. In this day and age, there were still such feudal-style arranged marriages. However, seeing her grandfather's eager eyes, Chen Zuren had no choice but to nod and agree. From that moment on, Chen Zuren learned one thing. Her fiancé was named Yi Gichen, and the reason her grandfather had betrothed her to him was that 20 years ago, a person named Li Fengxian had saved her grandfather's life. Li Fengxian was said to be a miraculous divine doctor, and Yi Gichen was just a child picked up by Li Fengxian. Years passed, and with the death of her grandfather, the Chen family gradually forgot about this matter, and Chen Zuren almost completely forgot about Yi Gichen. She never expected that today Yi Gichen would come in front of her holding the marriage contract, signed by her grandfather. At this moment, Chen Zuren crossed her arms over her chest, looking coldly at Yi Gichen, her attitude very clear. I do not agree to this marriage. Yi Gichen seemed oblivious to Chen Zuren's attitude, his eyes sneakily fixed on her butt, muttering to himself while cupping his chin, "The old man didn't lie to me. The wife he found for me really has a big ass." Clang! The high and mighty Chen Zuren staggered, knocking the teacup on her desk to the ground. Flustered, Chen Zuren picked up the teacup, her face flushed with both anger and embarrassment. She pretended not to hear Yi Gichen's words. "Yi Gichen, just because I didn't oppose Grandpa's decision doesn't mean that I agree." As she spoke, her chest heaved with excitement. Unexpectedly, Yi Gichen ignored her statement and said something that almost made Chen Zuren lose her temper. "Well, my master said that women with big butts can have sons. All right, I've decided I'll marry you." Yi Gichen, Chen Zuren nearly exploded in rage. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Realizing her loss of composure, Chen Zuren quickly suppressed her anger and said in a steady voice, "Enter." A young woman in professional attire walked in. She was Chen Zuren's secretary, named Annie. As Annie entered, she immediately noticed the furious Chen Zuren and glanced at Yi Gichen. After hesitating for a moment, she quickly stepped forward and whispered into Chen Zuren's ear, "Mr. Chen, the two people the security department just hired have left again." Left again? Chen Zuren resumed her aloof demeanor, frowning. "So all the new hires this month have been driven away?" "Yes," Annie nodded helplessly. "Mr. Chen, the manager of the security department is your elder brother's man. They probably don't want your people in the department." Although the Chen Group was the Chen family's business, and Chen Zuren was part of the Chen family, their grandmother was old and might pass away soon. So the competition for the next head of the Chen family was imminent, with many overt and covert battles. Chen Zuren's elder brother, Chen Longxiang, was determined to inherit the Chen family's business, having extended his control into various departments of the Chen Group, including the security department. While the security department was not the most important, it handled minor but necessary tasks such as vehicle arrangements. Every time Chen Zuren needed to use a car for business, the security department would give her a hard time, so she arranged for her own people in the department to facilitate things. Nevertheless, Chen Longxiang seemed intent on thwarting her efforts. Biting her lip in indignation, Chen Zuren muttered angrily, "Chen Longxiang really thinks he's the head of the Chen family." "Mr. Chen, what should we do?" Annie asked. Chen Zuren had no idea what to do. She was already overwhelmed, and yet another troublesome situation like Yi Gichen wasn't helping. At this moment, Yi Gichen suddenly stood up. "Leave this to me." Both Chen Zuren and Annie were stunned, not understanding what Yi Gichen meant. "What do you mean, leave it to you?" Chen Zuren looked at Yi Gichen with eyes that could kill. Her words were almost squeezed out through gritted teeth, mixed with her previous rage. Yi Gichen pointed at Annie. The matter with the security department you were just talking about. What? Chen Zeren was shocked. Their conversation had been very quiet, and Yi Gichen was sitting on the sofa 5 or 6 meters away. They believed he couldn't possibly hear them from that distance. But he had heard. Did he have dog ears? Chen Zeren thought disbelief and asked, Yi Gichen, what do you mean leave it to you? Leave it to me, just take me to the security department, and I'll make everyone there listen to me within a week, Yi Gichen explained. Everyone listened to you. Chen Zeren was dumbfounded and burst into laughter, as if she had heard the world's funniest joke. Do you know what kind of people are in the security department? You just got here, you know nothing. Don't think you can attract my attention this way. Why would I want to attract your attention? You're my wife and will give me a son. My son can't suffer any grievances, so I'm clearing obstacles for my son, Yi Gichen said earnestly, counting on his fingers. Right, the old man said choosing an auspicious day is important for having a son. If we sleep together on the 3rd day of next month, we can definitely have a son. He looked up at Chen Zeren and said, Zeren, let's decide that. Any problems you have, I'll solve them all for you so you can be happy. When you're in a good mood, our son will be smarter. Annie was dumbfounded. She looked at Chen Zeren, who was almost frenzied and had completely lost her usual high and mighty composure, then looked at Yi Gichen, who was spouting nonsense with a straight face. Suddenly, she felt lost in the wind. When Yi Gichen first reported his name and came to see Chen Zeren, Annie was puzzled, wondering how Chen Zeren knew such a rustic man. Now, Annie realized how inadequate her knowledge was. This man seemed not only to know Chen Zeren, but to be her man. Wow, definitely big news. Yi Gichen, if you keep babbling, believe it or not, I'll have someone throw you out. Chen Zeren placed her hands on her waist, looking as if she was ready to pounce on Yi Gichen and bite him to death. Yi Gichen was startled, quickly trying to calm her down. Wife, what are you doing? Don't be angry, don't be angry. How about this, if I can't do what I said, I'll go back to the mountains and won't mention the marriage agreement again. What do you think? Upon hearing this, the fire in Chen Zeren's heart seemed to be doused with water, instantly clearing her mind a lot. This could be an opportunity to get rid of the marriage agreement. Chen Zeren promised her grandfather not to take the initiative to dissolve the marriage agreement, but if Yi Gichen voluntarily dissolved it, the agreement could be voided. Are you serious? No matter what, Chen Zeren couldn't quite believe Yi Gichen would propose such a condition. This is simply self-destruction. The security department is a mess. Chen Zeren herself had trouble dealing with it. Yi Gichen was new and yet intended to control the security department. It was simply dreaming. Yi Gichen patted his chest solemnly. A man's word is his bond. All right, I agree. If you can do it, I'll marry you. Otherwise, we dissolve the agreement. Deal. Yi Gichen's lips curved into an intriguing smile. Nobody knew that Yi Gichen wanted to stay in the Chen family, not to marry Chen Zeren, but to investigate his own background. Yi Gichen was an orphan. According to his master Li Fengxian, when he was found, lying beside him was a snow-white wolf, as large as a calf. The wolf was blood-stained, dying, and when it saw Li Fengxian, its eyes showed a human-like plea. Li Fengxian picked up Yi Gichen and promised to take care of him. Only then did the wolf slowly close its eyes and die. Li Fengxian always felt that with a beast protector, Yi Gichen's background must be extraordinary. However, over the years, Yi Gichen still had no clue about his background. By chance, Yi Gichen discovered there were clues about his background in Yun City. For this reason, he stayed in Yun City, stayed in the Chen family, to investigate his background, which was his true motive. On the way to the security department, Annie's gaze toward Yi Gichen was filled with intense curiosity. That gaze was like looking at some fascinating creature. You actually angered Mr. Chen, you're amazing, Annie praised. In her impression, Chen Zeren never got angry, never lost her temper, but today she almost turned into a shrew. You're too kind. Yi Gichen showed no humility, even clasped his hands towards Annie. Seeing Yi Gichen's humorous speech, Annie's good impression of him surged and she warned, Yi Gichen, though I think your decision to go to the security department is very manly, I must remind you that I've heard the manager there, Li Pingfen, used to be a gang leader, has blood on his hands, and most of the security department is his people. Knowing you're Mr. Chen's person, he probably won't let you off easily. No worries, just wait and see. Yi Gichen waved his hand nonchalantly. All right, be careful. After completing the joining formalities and sending Yi Gichen to the security department, Annie didn't mention Yi Gichen's relationship with Chen Zuren, just gave a brief reminder before leaving. Security department. 4 or 5 security guards surrounded Yi Gichen. A burly man dressed in a security uniform, with a half-smoked cigarette dangling from his mouth, was grinning at Yi Gichen. "Kid, are you Chen Zuren's man?" The burly man was Li Pingfen, nicknamed Big Head, the manager of the security department. Yi Gichen thought for a moment, then nodded and responded, "Chen Zuren is my wife, so what you said is correct." But as soon as Yi Gichen spoke, the surrounding security guards burst into laughter. "Haha, kid, have you lost your mind? With your country bumpkin look, you think you can marry that woman Chen Zuren? Yeah, you should take a good look at yourself in a mirror. Are you worthy of Chen Zuren?" The group of security guards laughed loudly, showing no respect at all for Chen Zuren, the deputy general manager. "All right, enough nonsense. If you want to join our department, you have to follow my rules." Big Head waved his hand, stopping the laughter of the others, and shouted at a tall and skinny guard, "Lao Liu." The guard named Lao Liu came up to Yi Gichen, spat in front of him, and looked him up and down. "Kid, this is Big Head's territory. We don't welcome people sent by that woman Chen Zuren. If you know what's good for you, you'd better behave, otherwise you'll suffer, got it?" While speaking, Lao Liu extended his hand in front of Yi Gichen, grinning, "Hand over 20,000 yuan as protection money, so the brothers can have a meal." Yi Gichen was shocked. A meal that expensive? That's enough to buy several cows back home. As he spoke, Yi Gichen counted on his fingers earnestly. "When I came down the mountain, the old man painfully sold a cow to cover my travel expenses. You guys want to eat 3 cows worth of money in one meal. It's not worth it, not worth it." "Oh, so your family raises cows. How many cows do you have?" Liuzi asked. Yi Gichen seriously replied, "Not too many, just tens of thousands." The security guards stumbled. "Damn it, you're just trying to trick us. You raise cows, the way you brag is really out of this world. Tens of thousands of cows, why don't you blow up the sky? With your country bumpkin look, you raising cows is the joke, more like cows raising you. Haha, seems like Brother Yi is a wealthy man. Let's get moving, otherwise the brothers' hands are itching." Lao Liu and a few other guards clenched their fists, smiling nastily as they slowly closed in on Yi Gichen. Don't hit me, I'm afraid of pain. I'll just treat you all to a big meal tonight." Yi Gichen waved his hands as if very scared. "Treat us to a meal?" Big Head straightened up. "Kid, are you sure?" Yi Gichen scratched his head. "What's there to be unsure about? It's just a meal, you pick the place." "Haha, kid, you seem quite street smart." Big Head showed a meaningful smile. "Since Brother Yi is so sensible, we have to give him face, right? All right, in that case, Dream Fragrance Restaurant tonight, don't be late." That night, Big Head led a group of over 10 people to Dream Fragrance Restaurant. Dream Fragrance Restaurant is so luxurious, it ranks in the top 3 in all of Yun City. The per capita consumption is almost thousands of yuan, which ordinary people simply cannot afford. After everyone entered the restaurant, on the other side of the street, in a taxi, Chen Zuren's face turned pale. This guy actually went in with them. Chen Zuren had been having Annie keep an eye on the security department. She thought Yi Gichen saying he would treat them to a meal was just a stalling tactic, but unexpectedly, he really dared to come. She knew how expensive this restaurant was, and how deep its background was. It's simply impossible to dine and dash, and Big Head was clearly planning to rip off Yi Gichen hard. If Yi Gichen couldn't come up with the money, Chen Zuren didn't want to, but couldn't ignore it. After all, Yi Gichen entered the security department because of her. This is infuriating. Chen Zuren didn't expect Yi Gichen to cause such a big trouble on his first day. If they really got married, there would probably be endless trouble. Grandpa really must have been crazy back then, finding me such a person. Fine, let you suffer once, and you'll understand. Chen Zuren had already made up her mind to step in when Yi Gichen couldn't come up with the money. Although it would be a huge loss this time, she could use this opportunity to make things clear to Yi Gichen, letting him retreat. Inside the private room, the atmosphere was very lively. Big Head gave a signal, and Liuzi immediately picked up a wine glass and came to Yi Gichen. "Brother Yi, you're so generous today, drink this glass and you'll be Big Head's man from now on. Come on, bottoms up." After saying that, he downed it in one gulp. Yi Gichen looked flattered. "Brother Liu, come on, don't be so polite." He also downed his drink. Seeing this, Big Head's smile grew wider. They had already planned to get Yi Gichin drunk first, then detain him here until the restaurant dealt with him. By then, if Yi Gichin couldn't come up with the money, he would inevitably get beaten up. A broken arm or leg would be the least of his worries. Moreover, even if Yi Gichin had some connection with Chen Zuren, Big Head didn't believe she would stand up for him. In that case, he could both put Chen Zuren in her place and earn credit in front of Chen Longxiang, achieving 2 goals with 1 action. Next, more than 10 people in the private room took turns holding wine glasses and went up to Yi Gichin, who accepted everyone without refusal. His stomach seemed like a bottomless pit, and he became more invigorated the more he drank. At first, Brother Big Head thought Yi Gichin would soon pass out, but each time he had this illusion, Yi Gichin remained strong. Brother Big Head, damn, this guy can really drink. Brother Liu approached Brother Big Head, his speech already slurred. Brother Big Head cursed, damn, he sure is a country bumpkin. Clearly hasn't had such high-grade wine before, but from the looks of it, he should collapse soon. Let's push a bit more and knock him down. Got it? Seeing Yi Gichin swaying from side to side, Brother Liu felt that the timing was right and approached Yi Gichin again. Brother Yi, you really have a good capacity for alcohol. I admire people like you who can drink. Let me start first out of respect. Yi Gichin waved his hand repeatedly. No more, Brother Liu, I'm almost done. Brother Liu heard this and was delighted, but he continued. A man can't say he can't. Come on, let's drink 3 cups together first. After speaking, he placed 6 cups in front of Yi Gichin and drank 3 cups himself. Yi Gichin, groggy and drunk, gritted his teeth. All right, Brother Liu, you seem like a frank person. I'll risk my life to accompany a gentleman. Gulp, gulp, gulp. After drinking 3 cups, Yi Gichin started to sway. Brother Liu was overjoyed. Almost there, almost got you down. Brother Big Head said, whoever knocks Yi Gichin down today will get a reward of bathing together with a beauty. Such a credit can't be taken by someone else. Thinking this in his mind, Brother Liu showed a lewd smile and directly picked up the wine bottle. Brother Yi, come, I feel we resonate well, let's drink directly. Yi Gichin blushed, no more, really no more. If you consider me a brother, keep drinking, Brother Liu said. Well, all right then. Soon another bottle was downed, and Brother Liu felt light all over, but looking at Yi Gichin, he still had the appearance of being about to fall but not falling. Brother Liu's mind was still clear, but his body was no longer under control. Damn, why does it feel like falling into this guy's trap? Brother Liu wanted to drink more, but his body was completely numb. Shortly after, he finally collapsed under the table. Next, one after the other, everyone thought Yi Gichin was about to fall, but each time it was just an illusion. Yi Gichin still stood firm. Over 10 people all collapsed on the ground. Brother Big Head watched in shock. He hadn't drunk much, but it was the first time he had seen someone take down so many people alone. Brother Big Head, it feels great drinking today, Yi Gichin said, holding a wine bottle as he approached Brother Big Head. Brother Big Head, it's just the 2 of us left, let's keep going. Looking at Yi Gichin, Brother Big Head was dumbfounded. He was now sure that Yi Gichin had been fooling him. Brother, haha, it's just a joke, just a joke. Brother Big Head's back was sweating, and he no longer dared to drink. How about we settle the bill? Settle the bill? What bill? Yi Gichin stared at Brother Big Head with a strange look. Brother, of course, settle the food bill. You're treating tonight, aren't you? Brother Big Head tried hard to squeeze out a smile to look friendly. Yi Gichin shook his head repeatedly. No, Brother Big Head, I don't have any money. No money? Brother Big Head's smile gradually stiffened. Doesn't your family raise tens of thousands of cattle? Haha, Brother Big Head, anyone can brag. Fuck, Brother Big Head's face darkened as if he understood something. He roared angrily. You brat, you're messing with me. Yi Gichin nodded, full of agreement. You finally understood. You brat, you're seeking death. Brother Big Head was furious and waved his hand. Guys, teach this brat a lesson. After shouting, no one responded for a long time. Brother Big Head looked back and saw everyone laid out like dead dogs, completely unconscious. No one could help him beat up Yi Gichin. Damn, a bunch of useless trash. Brother Big Head was tough himself. He grabbed a wine bottle and swung it at Yi Gichin's head. Yi Gichin lifted his foot and directly kicked Brother Big Head flying, knocking over several tables before he stopped. Brother Big Head felt like his body had fallen apart and was in severe pain. Yi-Gichin walked up to Brother Big Head and stepped on his chest, smiling while swearing, "Brother Big Head, today I'm treating, you pay the bill, no objections." Brother Big Head never expected Yi-Gichin, who didn't look sturdy, could fight so well, and especially after drinking so much, he could still kick him away. He wanted to threaten one more time but suddenly heard a click, and felt a sharp pain in his arm. You broke my arm," Brother Big Head screamed in agony. "Any objections?" Yi-Gichin asked again. Brother Big Head was scared out of his wits. Now he couldn't call for help, he was no match for Yi-Gichin. No objections," Brother Big Head shouted. "No objections, good." Yi-Gichin nodded with satisfaction, then called the waiter over, pointed at Big Head and said, "He's paying." After saying that, Yi-Gichin swaggered off. The waiter had already been watching the situation closely. Seeing the whole room drunk and only Yi-Gichin still standing, the waiter was shocked and couldn't help but feel a deep respect for him. Big Head, however, looked ashen-faced. Here he didn't dare to default on the bill. Even with a dozen people, he didn't have the guts. "You little bastard, just wait, I'm gonna kill you." Big Head looked at the nearly 100,000 yuan bill, feeling his heart bleed. "Yi-Gichin, why did you come out?" Chen Ziren, who was frantic and thought something had happened to Yi-Gichin, had just rushed to the restaurant entrance when she saw Yi-Gichin coming out. She looked behind him, not seeing anyone from the restaurant or Big Head and his gang, and asked curiously, "You're okay?" Although Chen Ziren didn't want to marry Yi-Gichin, she would feel guilty for the rest of her life if something really happened to him because of her. But now, the situation seemed a bit unexpected. "Honey, look at you, you're tough on the outside but soft on the inside. You're starting to worry about me already," Yi-Gichin said, swaying and holding his head. No, honey, help me. I drank too much tonight, I can't stand." With that, he staggered into Chen Ziren's arms. Chen Ziren felt like she had been electrocuted. Since she was born, she had never touched another man, but now, she was being held by this unmet fiancé. "You get off me," Chen Ziren shouted, looking down, speechless. Yi-Gichin had fallen asleep and started snoring. If she let go, he would definitely fall to the ground. Helplessly, Chen Ziren had to support Yi-Gichin and barely managed to get a cab. "Hey, wake up, wake up." She was at a loss after getting Yi-Gichin into the car. No matter how she called, he wouldn't wake up. With no other option, Chen Ziren told the driver to head to her place first. She didn't notice that as the car started, a sly smile appeared at the corner of Yi-Gichin's mouth. Such a kind-hearted girl. Early the next morning, Chen Ziren was woken up by a phone ringing. After being up all night, she was groggy and a bit confused as she answered the call. "Hello, Annie," her secretary was on the line. As soon as Annie heard Chen Ziren's voice, she screamed, "Mr. Chen, something terrible has happened. Big Head from the security department had his arm broken, and he's threatening to break all of Yi-Gichin's limbs." Chen Ziren woke up instantly. "Yi-Gichin," she instinctively looked over at the sofa. Last night, after dragging Yi-Gichin home and throwing him on the sofa, she barely freshened up before falling asleep herself. Now Yi-Gichin was nowhere to be seen. Although she didn't know what happened last night, hearing Annie's words made her shudder. Could it be him? How could a country bumpkin dare to touch Big Head? The bathroom door opened, and Yi-Gichin walked out with a towel wrapped around his waist. "Honeys, you're awake," he grinned. Chen Ziren was stunned, her eyes glued to Yi-Gichin's muscles, speechless and unable to look away. She had to admit, although Yi-Gichin looked thin, his muscles were surprisingly well-built and attractive. "Hee, how about it? Are you mesmerized by your husband's body?" Yi-Gichin shamelessly walked up to her. Reacting, Chen Ziren kicked at him. "You pervert, we haven't even registered yet. Who said you could take a bath here?" Yi-Gichin caught her ankle, grinning. "What does it matter if we're registered or not? We'll be family sooner or later. Bathing at my wife's place is perfectly justified. Who cares, hee. You, Chen Ziren, exasperated, found her foot as if clamped, unable to pull it out of his hand no matter how hard she tried. Finally giving up, Chen Ziren said, "Let go of me." Yi-Gichin released his grip, and she fell onto the bed with a thump. "Arg, don't you have any sense of chivalry?" Chen Ziren was almost driven crazy. How did she end up with such an oddball? Other men treated her with caution and fear of offending her. But this guy not only didn't consider her an outsider, he also completely lacked any sense of chivalry. "Put on your clothes now," she demanded, seething. "Okay," Yigichin agreed, starting to remove the towel right in front of her. Chen Zuren screamed immediately, "Go to the bathroom now." Half a day later, Yigichin came out dressed, Chen Zuren already prepared. However, her face was as red as a pig's liver, ugly as can be. "Yigichin, what happened last night? Did you break Big Head's arm?" "Sort of," Yigichin replied innocently. "He insisted on treating me to dinner. I refused, so he self-harmed. You know us country folks are honest. We can't stand seeing that, so reluctantly I agreed." "Big Head self-harmed to treat you to dinner?" Chen Zuren didn't believe a single word. "Big Head used to be a thug. Now he's threatening to break your limbs. If you don't want to become disabled, leave Yun City immediately." She knew Big Head's capabilities. Not only could he fight, but he was also well connected. Otherwise, the Chen family wouldn't have turned a blind eye to his antics. She had only intended to scare Yigichin away using Big Head, not expecting to actually provoke him. Even if she wanted to protect Yigichin now, it might not be possible. Yigichin didn't take her warning seriously, smiling. "Honey, we still have a week left, why rush? Besides, I haven't fulfilled my promise to you yet." "What's Yigichin? Who do you think you are? You want to fight Big Head? You think he'll listen to you? Quit dreaming. If you keep being stubborn, you'll really get hurt." Chen Zuren was anxious. She had no fondness for Yigichin, but if something happened because of her, she couldn't face her late grandfather. "All right, your husband knows what he's doing." Yigichin turned and headed for the door. "Off to work I go." "You," Chen Zuren hadn't anticipated his indifference, stomping her foot in anger. "Fine, let's see how tough you are, just don't come begging like a beaten dog later." They both walked out one after the other. News that Big Head from the security department was fleeced by Yigichin quickly spread throughout the Chen group. By the time Yigichin arrived at the security department, a crowd had already gathered outside. He's coming, look, it's him." Someone saw Yigichin and immediately pointed at him, shouting. Many people started discussing. "Is he the guy who treated Big Head and the others to dinner last night, and then ran off?" "Yeah, he even claimed to be Chen Zuren's husband. Haha, this fool still thinks he's rich. How dare he go after Chen Zuren? But he's pretty daring, huh? Fooled Big Head and still dared to show up today. There's definitely going to be some drama. I heard a while back someone accidentally said something that pissed off Big Head and got their leg broken. This guy is definitely in for it today." The crowd instinctively parted to either side. Annie was among them. Regarding last night's incident, Annie heard about it as soon as she arrived at the company. After hearing, she immediately called Chen Zuren, but didn't expect Yigichin to not only show up but also openly and without a hint of fear. "Don't you know Big Head is going to deal with you? How come you still dare to come to the company?" Annie quickly walked up to Yigichin and asked quietly. Yigichin said indifferently, "I have to go to work. Where else can I go if not here?" "Kid, you've got guts." Before Annie could speak again, a few security guards had already surrounded Yigichin. Brother Liu glared viciously at Yigichin. You really have guts to fool us, but you sure can drink. I almost didn't recover last night." They had slept in the private room all night and were kicked awake by Big Head in the morning. After waking up, Big Head asked Brother Liu and his men for money to cover the dinner bill, and each of them paid several thousand yuan, feeling the pain. That's a month's salary. Upon finding out that Yigichin didn't pay, Brother Liu and his men resented him deeply and decided that if Yigichin dared to come to work, they'd beat him up first and then force him to pay last night's dinner bill. Yigichin said, "Brother Liu, you guys were really too polite last night. Heh, let's go out for another meal sometime when you're free." As soon as they heard about another meal, Brother Liu and the security guards got furious. "Eat your mother." One by one, they swung their fists at Yigichin. "What are you guys doing?" At that moment, a delicate shout rang out. Chen Zuren's forehead was covered in sweat as she squeezed into the crowd hurriedly. Chen Zuren initially wanted to stop Yigichin, but he disappeared in a blink. After finally catching up, he had already reached the company. Seeing so many spectators around, Chen Zuren shouted, "Don't you all have anything to do? Get back to work." Some people shook their heads reluctantly and left. Some didn't take Chen Zuren's words to heart and didn't move at all. showing how low Chen Zuren's authority was in the Chen group. Brother Liu's fist stopped in midair. He glanced at Chen Zuren and laughed. "Oh, it's Mr. Chen. Heh, we need to handle our own matters in the security department. Your esteemed self should hurry back. Get your manager Li Pingfen out here." Chen Zuren ignored Brother Liu. Brother Liu glanced at Chen Zuren, not seeing her as important but still turned into the office, bringing Big Head out shortly. Big Head had his arm in a cast and didn't even wear his security uniform. After coming out, he looked at Yi Gichin and said to Chen Zuren, "Mr. Chen, what's the matter? I don't care about your conflict with Yi Gichin, but this is the company. If you lay a hand on him, I have the right to fire you." Chen Zuren's face turned red as she spoke. Big Head chuckled. "Fire me? Mr. Chen, even though you're part of the Chen family, do you really have that authority? Haha, except for Chen Longxiang, no one has the right to fire me. Moreover, this is something a woman like you can't control." Chen Zuren couldn't believe Big Head was contradicting her in front of the entire company. After all, she was the company's vice president and a member of the Chen family. Chen Longxiang hadn't taken over the Chen family's business yet, and these people were already ignoring her. If he did take over, would there still be a place for her in the Chen group? "Honey, don't be mad, don't be mad." Seeing Chen Zuren speechless with anger, Yi Gichin quickly comforted her. However, calling her honey immediately caused an uproar. "Haha, this guy is crazy, calling Chen Zuren honey in public. He's daydreaming, looking like a country bumpkin. He could never match our Yun City's #1 beauty." Yi Gichin ignored the voices around him. His expression seriously turned toward Big Head. "Making my wife angry has serious consequences. If you don't want your other arm broken, apologize to my wife immediately." "Apologize? Haha, kid, you really talk big." Big Head laughed loudly. "All right, today I want to see how serious the consequences are. Damn it, beat him to death." Big Head was holding a lot of anger, and now, in front of so many people, he naturally wanted to restore his lost dignity. "If you really beat him to death, I'll take responsibility. Don't hold back." "Don't you dare!" Chen Zuren was terrified, but her voice was quickly drowned out by the security guards shouting and hitting. 7 or 8 security guards charged at Yi Gichin, their fists, feet, and rubber batons raining down on him. Many female employees closed their eyes in fright. Chen Zuren's body swayed, and if Annie hadn't supported her quickly, she would have fallen to the ground. "Country bumpkin, why are you showing off?" Chen Zuren stomped her feet in anxiety. However, just when everyone thought Yi Gichin was done for, the security guards rushing towards him were scattered like petals in the wind. Immediately, screams of pain echoed out. In just 2 or 3 seconds, all the security guards lay 4 or 5 meters away from Yi Gichin, each of them looking extremely pained, completely losing their ability to fight. This scene left everyone dumbfounded. Chen Zuren was also completely stunned. What just happened? This Yi Gichin can fight like this? "Oh my god, Brother Big Head, this guy is a martial artist." Liu Zi screamed, clutching his stomach with one hand, his face twisted in agony. Brother Big Head was completely shocked. He knew Yi Gichin had some skills, but he didn't expect him to be this good at fighting. 7 or 8 security guards, just taken down like that. Fuck, Brother Big Head couldn't help but curse, pulling out a knife from his waist and stabbing it towards Yi Gichin's back. The action happened too fast for anyone to react. By the time Chen Zuren saw the knife in Brother Big Head's hand, it was already less than 10 centimeters away from Yi Gichin's lower back. "Watch out!" Chen Zuren screamed in surprise. Brother Big Head's face was ferocious, shouting in his heart, "If I don't make you bleed today, do you really think you can shit on my head?" However, to Brother Big Head's despair, just as the knife was about to pierce Yi Gichin's lower back, it was grabbed by a hand. Yi Gichin's voice sounded like it came from the netherworld hell, looking for death. Crack! Along with the sound of a bone breaking, Brother Big Head's body flew into the air. Thud! The sound of both knees hitting the ground. Brother Big Head kneeled in front of Chen Zuren. Chen Zuren screamed in fright, taking several steps back, her pale face still staring at Brother Big Head in shock. "Oh, Manager Big Head, you're really courteous. Why are you kneeling to my wife?" Yi Gichin came to Brother Big Head's side, holding the knife and waving it in front of him. Brother Big Head was drenched in sweat, part from pain and part from fear. This bumpkin, what the hell is he? How can he fight like this? Looking at his subordinates lying on the ground, and the remaining security guards obviously not daring to step forward, Brother Big Head's eyes followed the knife. Yi, brother Yi, what are you doing? Still want to play, Yi Gichin said. Play? In this situation, play your ass. No, no more, Brother Big Head immediately conceded. Although it was very embarrassing, both arms were broken, how could he play? Then what should you say to my wife? Apologize, I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. I apologize for my rudeness earlier, please forgive me. Brother Big Head quickly bowed his head to Chen Zuren. Chen Zuren still felt like she was dreaming, her gaze towards Yi Gichin also changed. This guy actually made the high-nosed Brother Big Head apologize to her. Annie was even more excited, looking at Yi Gichin as if looking at an idol. Annie had just graduated from college, hadn't even dated, and was extremely curious about men. She had never thought that a man could have such strong combat skills, wrapped in such shabby clothes. This man doesn't look so shabby after all, Annie murmured to herself. At this moment, everyone's gaze towards Yi Gichin changed. This guy is so strong. Did you see that? He kept calling Mr. Chen his wife, and Mr. Chen didn't refute. Oh my god, doesn't this bumpkin really have something going on with Mr. Chen? That would really blind me. Big deal, so what if he can fight? Even a bear can fight, but it's just a beast. Didn't you see only that guy was calling? Mr. Chen didn't even make a sound. Meant she couldn't be bothered to refute, just wait and see, soon enough the truth will come out. In just a few minutes, amidst confusion and commotion, everyone dispersed. Yi Gichin also followed Chen Zuren back to the office. Chen Zuren sat in the chair, staring at Yi Gichin without a word, making Yi Gichin's scalp tingle. Honey, if you keep looking at me like that, do you want to sleep with me? Yi Gichin said. Chen Zuren's good impression of Yi Gichin almost evaporated instantly. She didn't expect that the guy who was so tough just now could speak so disgracefully. Yi Gichin, you really surprised me, but sometimes, being able to fight doesn't solve the problem. Back in the office, Chen Zuren quickly calmed down. Beauties love heroes. Chen Zuren had to admit that although Yi Gichin was a bit disgraceful, he was indeed very cool when he made Brother Big Head kneel before her to apologize. Chen Zuren even had a moment of heart-throbbing feelings. She realized that this rustic fiancé was not entirely worthless. But soon, Chen Zuren was filled with worry. Yi Gichin, you come from the mountains, unfamiliar with many things in this city. Brother Big Head lost face in front of so many people today, he surely won't let it go. You also can't go to the security department anymore. You'd better go back and find your master. This time, Chen Zuren didn't actually want to drive Yi Gichin away, but she also understood that even if Brother Big Head apologized verbally, he must be still discontented inside. The conflict between Yi Gichin and Brother Big Head had reached an irreconcilable point. If Yi Gichin stayed in Yun City, he might be killed by Brother Big Head. Yi Gichin smiled and said, Honey, are you worried about me? Humph, who's worried about you? Chen Zuren turned her head. Stop calling me honey all the time. It will make others misunderstand, and besides, let me tell you the truth, I won't like you. Haha, don't be so sure. Yi Gichin sat on the sofa, putting his legs on the coffee table. Honey, the old man asked me to marry you. Since I agreed, a man must fulfill his promise. Yi Gichin, are you truly stupid or just pretending? Seeing Yi Gichin's careless manner, Chen Zuren was infuriated. Don't you understand your situation? You hit Brother Big Head, making him lose face and costing a lot of money. Do you think this matter will just pass easily? I've heard Brother Big Head has killed before, and he has a powerful background. How can you, a newcomer, contend with him? Yi Gichin said, Honey, you're wrong. I always use virtue to persuade people. I don't intend to fight anyone. Besides, I've noticed that although you're the deputy general manager, except for Sister Annie, no one in the company takes you seriously. You are my wife, and I can't let you be wronged. This statement choked Chen Zuren. She was inexplicably touched. No one had ever said such words to her before. But thinking about how Yi Gichin, apart from fighting, seemed to be nothing more, she couldn't help but sigh. Are you really not leaving? Of course not, I still want you to bear me a son. You, Chen Zuren clenched her small fist, wanting to beat Yi Gichin to the ground. She couldn't believe Yi Gichin was so audacious. Did he really think that beating up Brother Big Head meant he could do whatever he wanted? In the hospital, both of Brother Big Head Li Pingfin's arms were in casts. His face was so dark it could almost rain. Sixi wasn't much better, lying in the bed next to his face full of resentment. Several of his ribs were broken, and even breathing hurt now. Brother Big Head, that little bastard Yi Gichin is too good at fighting. Are we just going to let it go? Sixi said resentfully. Brother Big Head snorted coldly. Let it go. Fucking kidding, how could it be over? I'm not done with him. But we can't beat him. Thinking of Yi Gichin's strength made Sixi shiver, and he tentatively asked, should we talk to Chen Longxiang? Talk to him? If we can't even handle a country bumpkin, why would Chen Longxiang willingly give us money? I'm still counting on Chen Longxiang to take over the Chen Group and get me a top position. Then what should we do? Brother Big Head spat. Pay. If we can't beat him fair and square, we'll play dirty. I don't believe that a country bumpkin can outsmart me. Sixi's eyes lit up. Brother Big Head, do you have an idea? Nonsense. Brother Big Head glanced sideways at Liuzi. Have you forgotten that I know Brother Leopard? In the whole of Yun City, as long as Brother Leopard steps in, is there anything he can't handle? Brother Leopard. Liuzi's face showed a hint of fear when he heard these two words. Bro, Brother Big Head, you really can get Brother Leopard to help. Of course, Brother Big Head said arrogantly. As long as the conditions are irresistible, getting Brother Leopard to take action is a matter of minutes. Thinking about kneeling in front of that woman Chen Zuran in public, Brother Big Head's lips twitched uncontrollably. Just wait, today you made me kneel. Tomorrow I'll make you kneel before me and sing Conquest. Half a day later, Brother Big Head, with hands wrapped in bandages, respectfully stood at the door of a second-floor office in a bar. Two burly men in black stood at the door, grinning as they looked at the disheveled Brother Big Head. Big Head, wait here, Brother Leopard is meeting an important guest, one of the burly men said. Brother Big Head nodded nervously. Okay, no hurry, no hurry. This time, Brother Big Head was seeking help from Black Panther. He wouldn't dare say no. Moreover, in the entire Yun City, if Black Panther wanted to, he could crush Brother Big Head with just a flick of his finger. If Brother Big Head hadn't run out of ideas to deal with Yi Gichin, he wouldn't have come to Black Panther. Black Panther's methods are ruthless. Although Brother Big Head is one of his men, without any benefits, Black Panther wouldn't help easily. In the office, a middle-aged man with a grim knife scar on his face stood respectfully with his hands down in front of a desk. Anyone who saw his demeanor would be shocked. This person was none other than Li Bao, famously known as Black Panther, who owned almost half of the bars in Yun City. Secretly, some also called him Money Leopard. Because besides bars, Black Panther also owned a real estate company, with hundreds of employees and assets worth billions. He was an influential figure in Yun City. But now, Black Panther was like a subservient child, with a fawning expression on his face. In front of him sat a beautiful woman in tight clothes, looking around 25 or 6 years old. The woman held a photo and threw it in front of Black Panther. Our heavenly god temple has a big figure coming to Yun City. If you don't want to die, warn your men to behave when they see this symbol. If anyone crosses him, no one will be able to save you. Yes, I understand. Black Panther understands. Black Panther nodded repeatedly, instinctively looking at the photo. The photo contained an image of a skull with wings. This was the mark of Heavenly God Temple. Heavenly God Temple, as the world's #1 mysterious organization, was at the peak of wealth and power, especially the founder, the Great Master, whom few have ever seen. Under the Great Master were 9 heavenly kings, 36 heavenly stars, and 72 earthly stars, all renowned figures worldwide. Black Panther knew well the terror of Heavenly God Temple, although he didn't know who the big figure coming to Yun City was. The woman in front of him personally came to warn him, which meant the person's status was extraordinary, possibly one of the 9 heavenly kings. Others might not know how terrifying this woman was, but Black Panther knew very well. Her name alone struck fear globally. Blood Rose was her nickname. She had killed over 300 champions in Western underground boxing matches, winning the championship for 5 years in a row, and single-handedly wiped out the so-called #1 mercenary group, Devil Army, making the Western mercenary community flee at the mention of Blood Rose. Moreover, she was one of the 72 earthly stars of Heavenly God Temple. Such a person was like a deity in Black Panther's eyes. After giving her instructions, Blood Rose left the office. After Blood Rose left, Black Panther finally sat down, sweating profusely and feeling exhausted. Though it lasted only a few minutes, he felt like he had walked through hell, not daring to lift his eyelids during the entire ordeal. It seemed that just looking at Blood Rose would doom him to a terrible death. After more than half an hour, Black Panther's expression returned to normal as he shouted outside, "Let Big Head in." As soon as Brother Big Head entered the office, he knelt in front of Black Panther. "Brother Leopard, please help me." Big Head cried mournfully, looking like a child who had seen his mother. Black Panther was extremely authoritative at this moment. He took a deep puff on his cigar. "Big Head, you got beaten." "Brother Leopard, you're so wise." Big Head exaggerated as he spoke, cursing Yi Gichin and Chen Zuren for being in cahoots. Finally, he said, "Brother Leopard, as long as you stand up for me, I'll find a way to bring Chen Zuren to you." Oh, Black Panther initially paid no mind to Big Head's issues, but his interest was piqued upon hearing this. How could Black Panther not know about Chen Zuren, the first beauty in Yun City? Just never had the opportunity. Now hearing Big Head's words, Black Panther squinted his eyes. "From what you're saying, that country bumpkin Yi Gichin's relationship with Chen Zuren isn't ordinary." "Yes, I've already looked into it. Yi Gichin and Chen Zuren have been engaged for a long time, and it was arranged when an elder of the Chen family was still alive. This matter isn't a secret within the Chen family, but right now most of them don't seem to know that Yi Gichin has come to Yun City." Although most people in the Chen group didn't believe Yi Gichin and Chen Zuren had a marriage contract, after being beaten by Yi Gichin, Big Head felt unsatisfied and investigated further, easily uncovering the relationship between Yi Gichin and Chen Zuren. Li Bao had heard about Chen Zuren having a fiancée before, but never paid much attention. Now, it seemed quite interesting. "Haha, Big Head, we've known each other for a long time. How could I not help you out?" Black Panther laughed heartily. Yi Gichin whistled all the way back to the security department under the gaze of other employees. "Brother Yi is here. Brother Yi, have a seat." As soon as he walked in, the security guards crowded around Yi Gichin, their attitudes shifting dramatically, showing no sign of neglect. No joke, this guy single-handedly beat Big Head's gang. They weren't blind. Who would dare provoke such a powerful figure? "Brother Yi, you're really mighty, even beating Big Head and making him lose his temper. You should be careful though, Big Head isn't easy to deal with." A security guard, looking around 30, approached cautiously. His name was Zhao Erden, originally the security team leader, but ever since Big Head arrived, he was suppressed and on the verge of quitting. Unexpectedly, Yi Gichin appeared just in time. Previously, Zhao Erden thought that provoking Big Head would be courting death, but after Yi Gichin pinned Big Head down twice, Zhao Erden began to have hope. If Yi Gichin could help drive Big Head away, Zhao Erden could rise again. "Brother Yi, we've all been bullied by Big Head with no way out. When we first arrived, he bullied us and threatened us when we refused to join him. You've really given us a breath of fresh air." Others chimed in, praising Yi Gichin. Most of the security department were forced by Big Head. Many didn't agree with his ways, but had to put up with it to make a living. This time, Yi Gichin's display of power gave them all hope. "Haha, you're too kind. Although I'm Chen Zuren's man, I don't bully people. As long as you follow me sincerely from now on, I guarantee no one can bully you." Yi Gichin thumped his chest, showing that he would protect them in the future. "Brother Yi, is it true you have a marriage contract with Mr. Chen?" Zhao Erden asked curiously. Others immediately gathered closer, ears pricked to listen. They were naturally interested in such gossip. To them, Chen Zuren was like a celestial being. How could she possibly be engaged to Yi Gichin? Of course, Yi Gichin proudly shook his legs. "Just wait one day, Chen Zuren will personally admit she's my woman in front of you." "Well, Brother Yi, we're looking forward to it. If that day comes, we'll all be so proud." Everyone jeered, but none of them really believed it, thinking Yi Gichin was boasting. Yi Gichin ignored their half-hearted jokes and sat on the sofa. "Tell me, is there really no one to deal with Big Head's arrogance?" Yi Gichin came to Yun City to investigate his lineage, and also to become Chen Zuren's man. Naturally, he had to do something to help Chen Zuren control the Chen group. Very few people knew that Yi Gichen was actually the Grand Master of the Heavenly God Temple. At the age of 17, Yi Gichen founded the Heavenly God Temple, largely to investigate his own lineage. With only 4 or 5 years of development, the Heavenly God Temple had already achieved fame and intimidated all directions. As the Grand Master of the Heavenly God Temple, though he could easily acquire the Chen group by mere persuasion, Yi Gichen did not wish to do so. To deal with the small Chen group, Yi Gichen saw no need to use the power of the Heavenly God Temple. When Yi Gichen mentioned Big Head, everyone fell silent. After a long time, Zhao Erden said, "Brother Yi, this Big Head used to be a thug, ruthless and daring. Ever since he joined the Chen group, he has become sworn brothers with Chen Longxiang, helping him clear many obstacles. I'm worried he won't stop here. Seeing how skillful you are, surely you have someone backing you, right? Better have them step in, or this won't end easily." Zhao Erden had been in the underworld for many years. Seeing Yi Gichen's prowess, he guessed there must be some expert backing him. Otherwise, why would he dare reveal his intentions so quickly? "It seems you've misunderstood. There's no one backing me," Yi Gichen shook his head. Yi Gichen's greatest reliance was himself. Zhao Erden's smile became stiff. "Brother Yi, this is no time for jokes. Don't you take your own life seriously." If Yi Gichen really intended to confront Big Head alone and got killed by him, Zhao Erden feared he too would be implicated. It wouldn't just be about resigning from his security job. He might not even be able to stay in Yun City. Just as Zhao Erden was about to persuade him further, Sixi helped Big Head in. Everyone closed their mouths in fear, not daring to speak. "Oh, it's quite lively in here." Big Head felt uneasy, but seeing Yi Gichen casually sitting on the sofa, his face, initially prepared to show anger, quickly managed a smile. "Brother Yi is here too. We only know each other after fighting. Let me apologize to you, my name is Li Pingfen." After saying this, he bowed deeply to Yi Gichen, surprising Yi Gichen. The other security guards were puzzled, unable to understand Big Head's tactics. However, thinking of Yi Gichen's bravery, they felt relieved. If they continued to tangle, Big Head surely wouldn't gain any benefit. "What's this, Big Head? Aren't you supposed to be resting in the hospital? Why are you back so soon?" As they say, don't hit a smiling face, Yi Gichen responded with a smile. Faced with such a minor character, Yi Gichen feared no tricks from him. "Hee, Brother Yi, I didn't recognize your greatness before, but after you beat me up, I came to my senses. How about I host you at the bar tonight for a good time?" "So nice, beat you up and you still want to treat me." Cough, cough, Big Head coughed violently twice, cursing Yi Gichen's ancestors in his heart but continuing to flatter. Brother Yi sure knows how to joke. Night Color Bar was the agreed meeting place between Big Head and Li Bao. Big Head led Yi Gichen to the bar and into the second-floor office area. As soon as they entered the office, the door was quickly shut from behind. Big Head jumped away like a monkey. Distancing himself from Yi Gichen, his previously subservient attitude vanished, replaced by excitement. "Brother Leopard, I brought him." The room's curtains were drawn, the light dim, creating a tense atmosphere, surrounded by a dozen men in suits. 5 meters across from Yi Gichen, someone sat with their back to him. "Big Head, look at you, getting all worked up over such a frail young man. I thought he had 3 heads and 6 arms." Li Bao slowly turned the chair around, and another person quickly stuffed a cigar into his mouth and lit it for him. Li Bao took a drag of his cigarette and looked at Yi Gichen. "I really didn't expect Chen Zuren, a woman like that, to have such a ridiculously uncool fiancé like you. So if you don't want to suffer, here's an opportunity. Call Chen Zuren and ask her to bring money to ransom you." "Yes, hurry up," Big Head quickly chimed in. Using Yi Gichen to lure Chen Zuren here, then neither Yi Gichen nor Chen Zuren would be anything but lambs ready for slaughter, completely at their disposal. Yi Gichen grinned. When Big Head brought him to the bar, Yi Gichen had already sensed something was wrong, but he didn't care. "Big Head, is this pretentious guy your backer?" Yi Gichen ignored Li Bao's words and glanced at Big Head. "Damn, kid, you're seeking death. This is Brother Leopard, our famous Brother Leopard in Yun City, and you dare speak so boldly." Big Head didn't expect Yi Gichen to act so recklessly, even in this situation. "Brother Leopard, you've seen it yourself. This kid is asking for it, daring to insult you. We need to teach him a lesson so he knows your power." Big Head added fuel to the fire. Brother Leopard's scar twitched twice. He sized up Yi Gichin and gently waved his hand, stepping in front of Yi Gichin. You're not afraid of dying. Afraid, of course I'm afraid, but you're sick. Yi Gichin suddenly blurted this out, startling Big Head and confusing everyone else. Does this guy want to die faster? Does he really think Li Bao won't kill him? Li Bao was stunned too, his smile freezing completely. He initially wanted to threaten, but now realized this guy needs a lesson to understand he's seeking death. Haha kid, you've got guts. Li Bao stuck out his thumb at Yi Gichin. I want to see just how gutsy you are. Whoosh! The men in black rushed forward, each drawing their huge machetes, looking imposing. This group was nothing like Big Head's security guards, clearly experienced in murder and arson. Kid, what should I cut off first, an arm or a leg? Li Bao sneered. Yi Gichin glanced at the men around him and shook his head. Sigh, there are always so many conceited people in the world. I said you're sick, yet you don't believe it. Fuck, kill him. No matter how hard Li Bao tried to seem patient, being repeatedly called sick drove him to flick his cigarette butt on the ground and shout angrily. The men raised their machetes and rushed towards Yi Gichin. Yi Gichin acted as if the men were air, continued speaking. You've gone 3 days and nights without sleep and still managed to maintain an erection, spending 2 hours each time without feeling any pleasure. Boom, his words echoed like thunder. The grim smile on Li Bao's face suddenly vanished, as if he had swallowed a fly. He couldn't stop shaking. Stop. Li Bao rushed up to Yi Gichin. The men who were fierce moments ago stood stunned with their machetes raised. What's going on? Why is Brother Leopard so agitated? Could what this guy said be true? Li Bao stared at Yi Gichin, seemingly trying to find clues from Yi Gichin's eyes. Yi Gichin's eyes were like deep ancient wells, motionless. Yous, how do you know? Li Bao's voice trembled. Yi Gichin smiled and said, let them all leave, I'll talk to you slowly. Li Bao hesitated for a moment, then waved his hand with a dark expression. All of you, get out. Brother Leopard, this guy is talking nonsense, don't believe him. Datu sensed something was off, and he's got some skills, it's dangerous for you to stay here alone. Yes, Brother Leopard, let us cut off his hands and feet first, said another man in black. Get out, Li Bao shouted. He was almost driving himself crazy. Although he didn't know how Yi Gichin knew about his symptoms, everything Yi Gichin said earlier was true. All this time, Li Bao had been hiding his illness and secretly seeking medical help, but to no avail. He even went to Yanjing to seek famous doctors recently, but no matter how they examined him, everything appeared normal. Li Bao was almost in despair. Being with women used to be a pleasure, but now it had become a burden. Imagine being with a woman and it feels like being with a piece of wood. What kind of feeling is that? Earlier, when Li Datu suggested bringing Chen Zuran for Li Bao to enjoy, Li Bao had a thought, maybe facing such a stunning woman like Chen Zuran. But now, Yi Gichin had bluntly stated his symptoms, which made Li Bao extremely terrified. How do you know? After everyone had left, Li Bao stared cautiously at Yi Gichin and asked again. He didn't dare to tell his subordinates about this at all. Although he was a significant figure now, there were many who coveted his wealth and status. If others knew about his health condition, it would surely bring unnecessary trouble. Moreover, Li Bao felt that if this continued, he wouldn't last much longer. Not sleeping for 3 days and nights, yet still full of energy, even sleeping pills didn't help. It was terrifying to think about. Yi Gichin walked over to the chair Li Bao had been sitting in earlier and sat down, casually picking up a photo on the table. That photo was the insignia of the heavenly god temple. Yi Gichin smiled, playing with the photo, and said, I not only know your illness but can also help you. You should be clear, you can avoid being with women, but if you keep this up, you won't last 3 more days without sleep and you'll end up working yourself to death. The current Yi Gichin had lost all his previous casual demeanor, instead giving Li Bao an unfathomable feeling. Li Bao's heart trembled, and he yelled in a deep voice, Kid, if you're pretending to be mysterious, I will make you wish you were dead. At this point you still dare to threaten me. Yi Gichin's eyes suddenly became extremely sharp. He flicked the photo in his hand lightly, and it swiftly grazed the top of Li Bao's head, shaving off a piece of scalp with his hair. Li Bao was so scared that he nearly fainted. He turned around and saw that the photo was embedded in the wall, with only a small part sticking out. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Li Bao wouldn't have believed that anyone in the world could have such an incredible skill. The anger in his heart instantly turned into fear. He instinctively stepped back 2 steps, trembling as he asked, "Who are you?" "Of course, I am someone you cannot afford to provoke." Yi Gichen lowered his head, fiddling with a ring on his left pinky finger. The ring looked very ancient, but it had a winged skull carved on it. As soon as he saw the ring, Li Bao was scared out of his wits, falling to his knees with a thud. You are an adult from the Heavenly God Temple. I, Li Bao, did not recognize Mount Tai and seek your forgiveness." At this moment, Li Bao felt a wetness between his legs, clearly having wet himself in fear. Yi Gichen frowned. "I don't want others to know my identity, nor do I want to be disturbed. Come to me tonight, I will treat your illness." Yi Gichen finished speaking, stood up, walked to Li Bao's side, and patted Li Bao on the shoulder. Li Bao, who was kneeling on the ground, didn't dare to raise his head and said submissively, "Master, I understand. If you can cure this strange illness of mine, it would be like you're my second parent. Even if I have to go through hell, I won't hesitate." Yi Gichen said indifferently, "I will be staying in Yun City for a while." The meaning was clear without needing to be stated. If Li Bao behaved well, benefits would naturally follow. I understand. How could Li Bao not understand Yi Gichen's meaning? He responded in a trembling voice. Yi Gichen waved his hand. "Chen Zuren is my woman. Don't get any funny ideas. Also, let Big Head Ghost lie in bed for a week." Without saying anything more, Yi Gichen quickly left the office. Outside the office, all of Big Head Ghost's men were waiting. As soon as they saw Yi Gichen come out, they immediately surrounded him. "Damn it, all of you back off, let Mr. Yi leave," Li Bao shouted loudly, almost stumbling as he ran to the door, giving Big Head Ghost a glare, and yelled, "Whoever dares to stop Mr. Yi, I'll cripple him." Everyone looked at each other, allowing Yi Gichen to leave without anyone daring to stop him. "Brother Leopard, what's going on? Why did you let him go?" Big Head Ghost was frustrated, but sensed something was amiss and asked cautiously, "You weren't fooled by him, were you?" Li Bao suddenly kicked Big Head Ghost in the stomach, sending him sprawling. Big Head Ghost screamed, "Brother Leopard, why are you hitting me? You almost got me killed. Not only do I want to hit you, but I also wish I could kill you." Li Bao roared angrily, grabbing Big Head Ghost's arm and yanking it, causing a crunching sound from the already bandaged arm. Li Bao ignored Big Head Ghost's screams, dragging him into the office and kicking him severely. All of Li Bao's subordinates were stunned. But no one dared to make a sound. It wasn't until Big Head Ghost was beaten half to death that Li Bao finally stopped, sitting down and panting heavily. Big Head Ghost's breath was very weak, but he still kept begging for mercy. "Brother Leopard, please spare me." "HMPH, I spare your life, who the hell is going to spare mine?" Li Bao snorted coldly. "Big Head Ghost, you only have yourself to blame for offending the wrong person." "What?" Big Head Ghost was so scared that his 7 orifices smoked. "Brother Leopard, what exactly is going on?" Li Bao brought his mouth close to Big Head Ghost's ear and whispered, "Big Head Ghost, even I don't dare to provoke Mr. Yi, and you still want to fight him. This time, you're lucky to be lying in bed for a week. Next time, you won't be so lucky." "Mr. Yi," Big Head Ghost's mind quickly flashed to Yi Gichen's appearance. Just as he was about to ask further, he saw Li Bao waving his hand, "Beat him, as long as he doesn't die." Accompanied by Big Head Ghost's wailing, Li Bao sat back on the sofa, muttering to himself, "How did Chen Zuren get so lucky to have a marriage contract with Yi Gichen? If it's true, then that Chen family, whom I've never paid attention to, might need to be re-evaluated." After leaving the bar, Yi Gichen stretched and walked toward a multi-million-dollar Porsche across the street. He pulled open the car door and sat inside. Sitting in the driver's seat was a beautiful woman in tight clothes. As soon as she saw Yi Gichen enter, her face was full of respect and she said nervously, "B-boss, how did you know it was me?" This woman was none other than Blood Rose. Yi Gichen sneered, "Just with your little tricks, you think you can fool me." "Boss, the alluring Blood Rose, who previously displayed an air of superiority, now lowered her head like a young girl who had just met her beloved man. Yi Gichen interrupted Blood Rose, "I understand your intentions, but currently I don't want to use the Heavenly God Temple's strength, and also, without my permission, you used Heavenly God Temple to warn Li Bao. If not for considering that you're thinking of my well-being, you'd be a dead person now." Yes, Blood Rose's delicate body trembled. He knew Yi Gichen wasn't joking. The entire Heavenly God Temple was created by Yi Gichen himself, and everyone in the Heavenly God Temple revered him as a deity. However, Yi Gichen hated people making decisions on their own the most. Upon learning that Yi Gichen had arrived in Yun's city, Blood Rose thought to clear the obstacles on his path. Boss, Li Bao provoked you. Should we uproot him and his industry? Blood Rose tentatively asked. Yi Gichen waved his hand. I still have use for this person. I've got my own ways to deal with him. How is the matter of the star group that I mentioned earlier progressing? Before coming to Yun's city, Yi Gichen had already issued an order to Heavenly God Temple to establish star group in Yun's city to mobilize some funds. Blood Rose quickly responded, we are currently contacting partners. The largest family in Yun's city, the Long family, is interested in collaborating with us, so. No need, contact the Chen family and collaborate with them. Ah, Blood Rose looked at Yi Gichen in surprise. Boss, the Chen family is merely a third-rate family in Yun City. They aren't even a small ant compared to Star Group. Only Yun City's Long family barely qualifies to cooperate with us. Just do as I say. Yi Gichen opened the door but then remembered something. Oh, by the way, find a residence tomorrow. I'll come stay there when I have the time. Yes, Blood Rose was thrilled upon hearing this. Although Yi Gichen didn't say it outright, the implication was clear. Usually when he isn't staying there, Blood Rose can live there herself, and when he frequently visits, Blood Rose will have more opportunities to serve him. After getting out of the Porsche, Yi Gichen reverted to his usual nonchalant manner. He strolled back to the Chen group. However, just as he arrived at the entrance of the group's building, he heard a reprimanding voice from afar. Xiao Yuanhao, I really have things to do, please move aside. Another obsequious voice replied, Zuren, I know you have things to do, let me take you. I just bought a Ferrari today, it hasn't even got a plate yet. Upon hearing this voice, Yi Gichen's hair almost stood on end. Damn, someone dares to hit on my woman. Following the sound, he saw at the entrance. A young man in a suit who didn't look much older than Yi Gichen was blocking Chen Zuren, holding a bouquet of flowers in a fawning manner. Chen Zuren looked anxious, while beside her, Zhao Erden opened his mouth intending to say something but refrained from disturbing them. Honey, Yi Gichen frowned, quickly walking up to Chen Zuren. He glanced at the young man and grinned at Chen Zuren. Where are you planning to go? Chen Zuren was startled, seemingly not realizing why Yi Gichen suddenly appeared here. Zhao Erden was both surprised and delighted. Brother Yi, weren't you supposed to go to the bar with Da Tu? Went to the bar, so what? Yi Gichen looked puzzled. Zhao Erden, are you all right? What could possibly happen to me? Yi Gichen shrugged. Hearing this, Zhao Erden couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. As long as you're fine, it's all good. I was worried that Big Head might be plotting against you, so I went to see Mr. Chen, and he got anxious too. He was about to head to the bar to check. Who got anxious? Upon hearing Zhao Erden's words, Chen Zuren immediately retorted, what does it matter to me whether he lives or dies? Always trying to show off if he dies, it's well deserved. Even though these were words of anger, in Yi Gichen's ears, there was a hint of petulance. Yi Gichen could tell that Chen Zuren was just being stubborn but soft-hearted, worried about his safety, and couldn't help but want to help him without thinking too much. It seems my wife isn't all that bad. However, the face of Zhao Yuanhao, who was standing nearby, darkened. He looked at Yi Gichen, and upon seeing Yi Gichen's bumpkin-like attire, a trace of contempt flickered in his eyes. He asked Chen Zuren, Zuren, who is this guy? Does he often pester you and even dare to call you his wife? Just say the word and I'll kick him out right now. Damn, who the hell are you? Yi Gichen didn't expect that before he could find trouble with this guy, he was already being attacked. Yi Gichen stepped directly between Chen Zuren and Zhao Yuanhao. I said, open your dog eyes wide and take a good look. I am Chen Zuren's man, and you dare to flirt with a married woman in broad daylight. You've got some nerve. Upon hearing this, Chen Zuren's face turned as red as a monkey's butt. She wished she could find a hole to crawl into. Too embarrassing. And Yi Gichen's words were too crude. However, for some reason, upon hearing Yi Gichen's words, Chen Zuren didn't feel any aversion. Instead, she felt a sense of relief. Even more, seeing Zhao Yuanhao's frustrated look, Chen Zuren felt a sense of delight. An odd thought inexplicably arose in her mind. Maybe marrying Yi Gichen wasn't such a bad idea after all. Who are you calling a dog? Zhao Yuanhao's face turned red upon being choked by Yi Gichen. You country bumpkin, how dare you claim Zuran as your wife? You really are shameless. Do you know who I am? Look at your shabby clothes. Even one of my socks is more expensive than all the clothes you're wearing combined. Is that so? Yi Gichen glanced at Zhao Yuanhao with disdain. So what, even if you're dressed in gold and silver, Chen Zuran is still my wife. As he said this, he grabbed Chen Zuran's hand and deliberately stroked her hand twice. Chen Zuran was stunned on the spot. Too sudden. She not only didn't react, but her whole body also seemed to freeze, not moving at all. Seeing Chen Zuran's lack of reaction, Zhao Yuanhao's eyes nearly bulged out, pointing at Yi Gichen excitedly. Zuran, is this bumpkin really your husband? Chen Zuran never had a good impression of Zhao Yuanhao, though she didn't intend to agree with Yi Gichen so readily. She realized using Yi Gichen as a shield was an opportunity, and she instinctively nodded. Yes, Zhao Yuanhao, please don't come looking for me again in the future. Exactly, if you harass my wife next time, you'll pay for it. Yi Gichen shook his fist in front of Zhao Yuanhao, making Zhao Yuanhao's face turn pale with anger. Yi Gichen didn't bother to tangle with a small role like Zhao Yuanhao any longer, pulling Chen Zuran along to leave. But Zhao Yuanhao stepped in their way, suppressing his fury, and looked at Yi Gichen before staring at Chen Zuran with burning eyes. Zuran, we've been old classmates for years. I have been pursuing you since high school and I never knew you were married, but I'm a man who can take it or leave it. It's my fault for not clarifying things sooner. Actually, today I came to invite you to our class reunion tonight. What reunion? Not interested. Before Chen Zuran could answer, Yi Gichen already replied, Tonight, the two of us lovebirds have to go back home and be intimate, not interested in a reunion. Click. This sentence directly dealt Zhao Yuanhao a blow of 100 tons. If looks could kill, Yi Gichen would definitely have been torn to pieces by Zhao Yuanhao by now. Although he didn't understand how Chen Zuran could marry someone as backwater as Yi Gichen, all Zhao Yuanhao could think about now was inviting Chen Zuran out that evening. As long as he could get her to attend the party, then everything would be up to him. Well, Zhao Yuanhao managed a smile that looked worse than crying and continued to Chen Zuran. Zuran, I heard that Star Group is coming to Yun City and is looking for partners. They've already talked to the Long family and it seems there's interest in working together. But Star Group's business is too big, and even though the Long family is the top family in Yun City, they can't handle it alone. Tonight is a good opportunity. I've also invited the second young master of the Long family. If things go well, this could be a chance for the Chen family to collaborate with the Long family. Chen Zuran looked interested, really. Compared to the Long family, the Chen family was nothing, and to the vast Star Group, it was even less significant. However, no matter what, if they could establish a connection, it would definitely be a great opportunity for the Chen family. This could not only elevate the Chen family to the next level, but also greatly increase Chen Zuran's standing within the family. Seeing that Zuran was tempted, Zhao Yuanhao quickly nodded, of course. Although I have feelings for you, you're married now, so I know I should give up. But we're classmates, and if there's a good opportunity, how could I forget you, right? Zhao Yuanhao made it sound very serious, even taking on the demeanor of a gracious gentleman. He threw the flowers in his hand to the ground and stomped on them a couple of times. Zuran, if you want, you can bring your husband along so everyone can get to know each other. He said this with a sneer in his heart. Chen Zuran, I don't believe you won't take the bait. If you really dare bring this bumpkin along, I'll see to it that you lose all face and hand you over to second young Master Long. Hey, Zhao Erden, isn't there a fine for littering in the company? Who would have thought? Yi Gichen didn't follow the script and instead pointed at the flowers on the ground. Zhao Erden was taken aback, then quickly nodded. According to company regulations, random littering incurs a 2,000 fine, and repeat offenders are fined 10,000. Good, you know the rules. Yi Gichen patted Zhao Erden on the shoulder approvingly and held out his hand to Zhao Yuanhao. Hand it over. Hand what? Zhao Yuanhao twitched at the corner of his mouth. What do you think, the money, what you don't plan on paying? Yi Gichen suddenly raised his voice. Fine, if you don't pay, that counts as willful disobedience. Now you owe 10,000 or else. Yi Gichen's expression suddenly grew serious. I'll detain you under the security department's authority. Also, we won't be attending that damn party tonight. Damn, Zhao Yuanhao was almost stunned by Yi Gichen. What's all this? Just a word and it's 10,000, isn't this extortion? However, he caught a hint of something and couldn't help but feel a bit excited. What, if I pay, you'll go to the party? Chen Zuran really wanted to go but didn't want to meet people like Zhao Yuanhao. While she was contemplating, Yi Gichen spoke up again. Of course, how could we miss such a good opportunity? Pay up quickly. Once you pay, we'll go tonight, or else, not only will I detain you, we'll go home and hit the sheets, not attend any damn party. All right, you're good. Zhao Yuanhao ground his teeth, pulled out 10,000 yuan and slapped it into Yi Gichen's hand. Zuran, see you tonight. First, I'll trick Chen Zuran and Yi Gichen into coming to the party, and then I'll not only embarrass you, but also get my money back, you little punk. Zhao Yuanhao finished with a huff and left. Once he was gone, Chen Zuran flung Yi Gichen's hand away. Yi Gichen, who said you could make decisions for me? Yi Gichen licked his lips, looking like a scheming commoner, counting the money in his hand, chuckling. He did say it's an opportunity, right? Opportunity, what do you understand? HMPH. Chen Zuran snorted coldly and walked into the door. She really wanted to attend the party, but watching Yi Gichen spew nonsense made her furious. What a mess, he even mentioned, hitting the sheets. She really regretted acknowledging Yi Gichen as her husband. Yi Gichen looked up, watching Chen Zuran's back, a cunning smile appearing on his lips. He tossed the 10,000 yuan into Zhao Erden's hands. Take it back and spend it with the guys. Zhao Erden was stunned. A whole 10,000 yuan, just given to him like that. That's way too generous. Brother Yi, Zhao Erden was so excited, he was almost incoherent. But Yi Gichen waved his hand, not caring at all. Follow me well in the future, benefits won't be lacking for you guys. By the way, remember to arrange a car tonight, my wife and I are going to a party. That feeling, Yanran, he was already the leader of the security department. Wife, wait for me, Yi Gichen shouted, chasing after Chen Zuran. After Yi Gichen followed Chen Zuran to the office, Chen Zuran crossed her arms and glared at Yi Gichen. Yi Gichen, what exactly are you planning? Isn't it enough that you provoked Li Pingfen, now you're stirring up trouble with Zhao Yuanhao? Cut it out, I'm provoking him. He provoked my wife, it's good enough that I didn't beat him up, Yi Gichen replied nonchalantly. Chen Zuran was so angry she was trembling all over. You really don't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. Zhao Yuanhao is nothing but a lapdog of the Long family's second young master. Although I really want to cooperate with the Long family, you just recklessly agreed to them. They will definitely humiliate you. Who humiliates whom is not certain yet. Yi Gichen smiled slyly. There might be surprises tonight. Surprises, HMPH, I think it's more likely to be fright. Chen Zuran knew she had to go to the party tonight, although she already sensed that Yi Gichen might be humiliated. But the temptation to connect with Star Group was too great. She still couldn't bear to give it up. I'm telling you now, you're only pretending to be my husband, no matter what is said or done. You have to listen to me, understood? Oh, Yi Gichen replied absent-mindedly. Chen Zuran's eyebrows knit together. Suddenly she started looking Yi Gichen up and down, making Yi Gichen feel uneasy all over. Wife, what are you up to again? Yi Gichen hugged his chest, looking scared of being sullied. Chen Zuran almost got annoyed into laughter by Yi Gichen's demeanor. Since you're my boyfriend, you can't dress like this. I'll arrange the company's affairs first, then we'll go buy some new clothes for you. That's not very good, is it? Yi Gichen squirmed. HMPH, stop pretending. Chen Zuran glared at Yi Gichen. Half an hour later, Chen Zuran and Yi Gichen left the company. As they just reached the entrance, the security guard saluted Yi Gichen and Chen Zuran from afar, even shouting loudly, "Hello, Mr. Yi, hello, Mr. Chen." The loud shout startled Chen Zuran. Before, these security guards didn't even greet her, but today they were acting so respectful. What's going on? And who the hell is Mr. Yi? Yi Gichen, however, acted like a general inspecting his troops, waving at the guards. Stand guard well, arrange a car for us. Mr. Yi, your special car has been waiting for a long time, the security guard answered loudly. Chen Zuran widened her eyes, looking at Yi Gichen weirdly. Has she seen a ghost today? Why does Yi Gichen have a special car? Moreover, it's clear to Chen Zuran from the tone that the guards seem to respect Yi Gichen more than her. What puzzled Chen Zuran even more was that before, when she needed a car for business, these guards would make all sorts of excuses, but today they actively arranged a car, and a special car at that. Yi Gichen, what's up with those guards? After getting in the car, Chen Zuran couldn't suppress her curiosity and asked softly. Yi Gichen chuckled. They must be admiring my good looks, right? So saying, Yi Gichen understood perfectly that the whole security department had already sensed something was off due to Big Head not returning. If Big Head still doesn't show up in a few days, the head of the security department would have to be replaced. Besides, that 10,000 yuan had obviously changed the way the guards thought about him. Although money can't perform miracles, for these grassroots security guards, it truly is a substantial income. Most importantly, in everyone's eyes, Yi Gichen was just a penniless bumpkin, but his extravagant gesture made them inevitably speculate. However, Yi Gichen didn't mention any of this. Chen Zuren suppressed the strangeness in his heart and muttered, "This guy, could it be that the whole security department is really listening to him?" But just thinking about this possibility, Chen Zuren shook his head vigorously. Even if Yi Gichen had scared Big Head, his elder brother Chen Longxiang would absolutely not agree. Fortunately, Chen Longxiang had been on a business trip recently, otherwise, this matter would have been impossible to hide. If Chen Longxiang found out, he would definitely find ways to report their misdeeds, making it another troublesome affair. But right now, Chen Zuren couldn't care less. If he could establish connections with the Long family or even Star Group, no matter what Chen Longxiang said, Elder Chen wouldn't make things difficult for him. It took Yi Gichen and Chen Zuren less than half an hour to arrive at Yun City's largest Tianhong shopping square. After telling the driver to wait outside, Yi Gichen and Chen Zuren entered the shopping square. Looking at the dazzling array of clothes, Yi Gichen felt overwhelmed, but he remained utterly composed. Despite being the grand teacher of the Heavenly God Temple, he had never cared much about attire. In his view, while clothing is a symbol of status, when one is powerful enough, even wearing beggar's clothes can exude a sense of supremacy. Seeing Yi Gichen's calm demeanor, Chen Zuren couldn't help but curl his lips in pride. "Humph, what a show-off. You've probably never seen so many high-end clothes, right?" "Oh, isn't this Zuren?" At this moment, a harsh voice rang out. Yi Gichen turned his head and saw a heavily made-up, scantily clad woman walking over with a young man by her side. Seeing the woman, a flash of disgust appeared in Chen Zuren's eyes. "Ignore her, let's go." Chen Zuren turned to leave. But the woman had no intention of letting Chen Zuren go. She quickly blocked Chen Zuren's path, looking at Yi Gichen arrogantly like a proud peacock, and mocked, "Zuren, is this your boyfriend? Wow, he dresses really low-key." While speaking, the woman deliberately covered her mouth. Chen Zuren snorted coldly, "He bitch, who I go shopping with is none of your business. Please move aside." "Haha Zuren, what are you doing? We're old classmates, introduce me to your boyfriend." He bitch had no intention of moving aside and instead clung more tightly to the arm of the young man beside her, mocking, "Zuren, in school, you were our class flower. All the boys surrounded you, but you weren't interested in anyone. I didn't expect you to end up with such a boyfriend." "He bitch, is this the Chen Zuren you've always mentioned?" The young man beside He bitch sized up Chen Zuren, his eyes filled with undisguised greed. Compared to Chen Zuren, the somewhat attractive He bitch beside him was indeed plain. "Yes, Sun Mu, this is the Chen Zuren I've told you about." He bitch didn't seem to notice anything odd and leaned closer to Sun Mu. "A pleasure to meet you." Sun Mu generously extended his hand to shake with Chen Zuren, but Chen Zuren had no intention of shaking hands. A bit embarrassed, Sun Mu quickly extended his hand towards Yi Gichen, who stood silently by, saying, "I'm Sun Mu, a medical doctor from Harvard University, just returned a few days ago. I'm now at Yunju First Hospital. May I know your name and where you work?" Yi Gichen could clearly see the animosity between He bitch and Chen Zuren, and he was deliberately showing off. But they didn't consider their audience. Don't dare, my name is Yi Gichen, security guard," Yi Gichen said openly. Chen Zuren was stunned by his words. People who didn't know might think being a security guard was a very impressive job. Sure enough, as soon as Yi Gichen spoke, He bitch and Sun Mu were initially shocked, but then the sneer on their faces became even more pronounced. He bitch's smile was almost stretching to the back of her neck. "Wow, so you're a security guard," He bitch exaggeratedly covered her mouth. Chen Zuren glared at Yi Gichen. "If you don't speak, no one will consider you mute." Yi Gichen seemed not to notice, looking admiringly at Sun Mu. "You're a medical doctor from Harvard University. Impressive, impressive." Of course, our son Mew was heavily valued by the hospital just a few days after he returned, and was told he'd be made department head next year. He bitch said proudly. Not at all, Sun Mew said modestly, but couldn't hide his pride. Chen Zuran was so angry she was about to crush her teeth. Previously, she and he bitch didn't get along well, with he always comparing herself to Chen, but in terms of background and appearance, he couldn't compare. After graduation, they didn't have much contact, but unexpectedly met here today. Chen Zuran just wanted to leave quickly, when suddenly a heart-wrenching scream came from nearby. Help, help. The mall was filled with people, and this scream immediately attracted everyone's attention. Someone shouted, "Someone has fainted." What are you waiting for? Call an ambulance quickly. Is there a doctor who can save my grandpa? A girl shouted and cried. He bitch heard this, grabbed Sun Mew's hand and walked over, shouting exaggeratedly, "Aren't you a doctor? Go and take a look." With her other hand, she pulled Chen Zuran, who wanted to leave. "Zuran, we haven't met for so long, come see Sun Mew's medical skills." The scene was already in chaos. In the crowd, a 14 or 15-year-old girl was kneeling on the ground, helplessly crying. In front of her, a 70-year-old man had his eyes closed tightly, teeth clenched, looking like he had epilepsy. Make way, my boyfriend is a doctor, move aside quickly," he bitch shouted before getting close to the crowd. Sun Mew didn't want to meddle, but seeing everyone looking at him expectantly, he had to brace himself and approach. He flipped the old man's eyelids, frowned slightly and said, "This is a stroke, he needs to go to the hospital immediately, it will be too late soon." "Ah," the girl was at a loss, looking at Sun Mew as if she was grabbing the last straw. "Are you a doctor? Please save my grandpa, please think of a way." "How to save? I told you it's a stroke, he needs to go to the hospital immediately." Sun Mew looked at the girl with some annoyance, seemingly angry that she wasn't listening. "I'm a doctor, but not a god, I don't have any equipment now, how can I save him?" "Exactly, doctors aren't omnipotent, why are you dragging my boyfriend?" He bitch lifted her nostrils arrogantly and broke the girl's hold on Sun Mew. The girl hesitated for a moment, unable to decide. She looked around the crowd, pleading, Then please, help me take Grandpa to the hospital." Someone, feeling sympathy, was about to lift the old man. But someone quickly stepped forward, stopping the person from moving. "You can't move him now." "Yi Gichin, what are you doing?" Watching Yi Gichin stop them from saving the person, Chen Zuran immediately pulled at Yi Gichin. "He's not having a stroke, it's a rare disease. If he's not moved, he'll be fine, but if you move him, he'll die within 3 minutes," Yi Gichin said with a serious face. However, these words sounded like a joke in the ears of He Bitch and Sun Mew. He Bitch sneered, "Zuran, I didn't expect your boyfriend to be a medical saint. Even a doctor who graduated from Harvard University said it's a stroke, and he says it's not but a rare disease. Is he trying to show off?" "Yeah, if it's not a stroke, then tell us what it is," Sun Mew also challenged with a provocative expression. The old man's symptoms clearly showed it was a stroke. If Sun Mew couldn't see that, he might as well hit his head with a piece of tofu and die. Seeing Yi Gichin standing out, Chen Zuran's face became even more anxious. Had they not embarrassed themselves enough just now? Yi Gichin, stop fooling around. Chen Zuran stomped her feet, pulling on Yi Gichin to leave. Yi Gichin shook off Chen Zuran's hand. "Did you forget what our old man does?" Chen Zuran was stunned and looked at Yi Gichin in bewilderment. When her eyes met Yi Gichin's, she seemed to see a pair of shining stars. At that moment, Yi Gichin didn't seem like a lazy hillbilly, but instead gave her a tremendous sense of security and confidence. Can you really save him?" Chen Zuran asked instinctively. "Yes," Yi Gichin nodded, squatting down to check the old man's pulse. He bitch sneered, "Oh Chen Zuran, your boyfriend wants to show off. If someone dies, it's not on our Sun Mew." While saying this, he also took out his phone to record. "Everyone, let's bear witness. Our Sun Mew said to take him to the hospital quickly, but this person stopped him. If something goes wrong, it's all his responsibility. Young man, we understand you want to show off in front of your girlfriend, but don't make jokes with human lives." "That's right, he's a Harvard University medical doctor. What about you?" "Little girl, your grandpa is on the verge of death. Take him to the hospital quickly, it'll be too late soon." The crowd kept persuading. The little girl was very young and had never faced such a situation. For a moment, she was at a loss. Yigichin said seriously, "Little sister, does your grandpa have shortness of breath at night and wakes up suddenly, like having a nightmare around midnight?" The little girl was stunned, her tearful face showing an expression of disbelief. "Big brother, how do you know that?" "Actually, these are symptoms of chronic poisoning," Yigichin said as he held the old man's hands. "Little sister, help me turn your grandpa over." "Okay," the little girl felt inexplicably comforted by Yigichin's smile and was about to do as told, but he bitch stopped her. "Little girl, think about it. If you let him save your grandpa, he might die." "Yes, and chronic poisoning. Haha, you really know how to talk nonsense." Sun Mu also snorted disdainfully. The little girl was stunned and looked at Yigichin with wide eyes. "Big brother, can you really save my grandpa?" "Yes," Yigichin nodded firmly. "Rest assured, your grandpa will be fine." "Then, I believe you." The little girl, not knowing where her confidence came from, quickly helped Yigichin turn the old man over. Yigichin tore open the old man's clothes. "Can someone get me a trash can?" "I'll go." For some reason, Chen Zuren felt a strange impulse as she quickly fetched a trash can and placed it in front of Yigichin. He bitch snorted, "Ha Chen Zuren, you still think this country bumpkin can save lives?" Yigichin ignored their mockery, placing the old man's face near the trash can and quickly pressing a few points on his back. A moment later, the old man's face turned pale, looking extremely painful, on the verge of passing out. The crowd erupted in an uproar. "Holy crap, someone's going to die. If this old man dies, he's the murderer." He bitch gloated, "I thought he had great ability, but he's just a show-off." The next second the old man suddenly let out a loud wah and spewed a mouthful of filthy black substance. The stench was overwhelming, causing many around to cover their noses. Yigichin's brow was tightly knitted, but his hands did not stop moving. His right hand in particular moved so fast it formed a shadow, continuously tapping the old man's back. The old man vomited several more times until there was nothing left to purge. Gradually, his complexion began to regain its redness, and even his breathing steadied. "It's a miracle. He really brought him back to life. Oh my God, this feels so unreal." The crowd exclaimed in astonishment. Who would believe it if they hadn't seen it with their own eyes? Sun Mu and he bitch's faces turned pale. They too stopped mocking Chen Zuren and Yigichin, and taking advantage of the chaos, slipped away quietly. Of all the onlookers, Chen Zuren was the most surprised. You really did it." Yigichin once again shattered Chen Zuren's perception. Back then, when her grandfather said Yigichin's master saved his life and extended it by 10 years, Chen Zuren thought it was nonsense. Extending life by 10 years sounded so miraculous, but who knew if it was just a bluff? To Chen Zuren, it seemed like Li Fengxian might have simply gotten lucky when he treated her grandfather. If Li Fengxian's medical skills were truly exceptional, why didn't he become a doctor at a big hospital? But now, seeing Yigichin revive the old man with just a few taps on his back, Chen Zuren couldn't help but start to believe. Could there really be such incredible medical skills in the world? "Big brother, thank you, thank you." The little girl, seeing her grandfather return to consciousness, was so excited that she became incoherent. The old man turned over, wiped the filth from his mouth, and looked at Yigichin with immense gratitude. "Young man, you saved this old man's life. Tell me, how can I thank you?" "Haha, senior, it was just a small effort." Yigichin waved his hand nonchalantly. "Young friend, you are too modest. Your small effort was a matter of life and death for me." The old man, with the little girl's support, slowly stood up. He clasped his hands together, about to bow to Yigichin, but was promptly stopped by Yigichin. "Senior, there's no need for this." Yigichin's voice then lowered a few notches. "However, judging by your condition, do you often drink a very rare kind of tea?" "What?" The old man was greatly surprised. "Young man, how did you know that?" Yigichin said calmly, "You have accumulated a lot of toxins in your body, and your fainting is closely related to these toxins. From what I know, these toxins only come from tea leaves, and very rare tea leaves at that. Because it's a slow-acting toxin, although I've expelled most of it from your body, some residue remains and will take time to metabolize. Therefore, senior, you should avoid drinking that kind of tea in the future." The old man was shocked and gave Yigichin a thumbs up. "Amazing, truly amazing. Young man, my name is Zhou Huayan. If you ever need anything, feel free to come by Wanian Chang. Although this old man doesn't have many skills, I can still help with many things. What, Wanian Chang, isn't that the famous antique shop? I recognize him now. This is Mr. Zhou, the owner of Wanian Chang and an expert in the antique world. Oh my, I never expected to meet him here. This young man just hit the jackpot. Almost everyone, upon hearing the name Wanian Chang, showed enviable gazes towards Yi Gichen. This Zhou Huayan was not just famous in Yun City, but all across Huaxia. To establish a connection with someone like him could, if not make one immediately successful, still easily provide a windfall of hundreds of thousands. Chen Ziren was also extremely surprised. She had not anticipated that the person standing before her would be Zhou Huayan.